You can follow me on any of the listed social media, and you can read my manga over on Pixiv. If you'd like to support me, then please consider subbing to my Patreon. Thank you. This is part 3 of just the line art. Kinda crazy. Is what it is. I expect this to be a shorter part, though. Although these knee parts here kind of scare me, to be honest. If I'm being truthful. These are a little goofy looking. So we might be stuck in the weeds over here. So I'm hoping that this doesn't take another hour. But part of me is losing hope, and that's not a good sign. But we're just going to get through this. Figure this out. What a fun little pyramid shape to try to map out at an angle. Which I pretty much just did it on one go, so I think it's fine. But, oh well. Okay, so we're going to do this. Shave that back. Now I've got some intersecting lineage to deal with. I'm going to do this. Come on. Okay, there we go. Got two. See, this is why I condense everything into one layer like a psychopath. It's just easier for me to make corrections until it, is bisecting through a critical line and I ruin the line to fix it. Then I complain about it. But when I'm not complaining about it, it's pretty nice. Okay, I've got the line I want, so I'm just going to reposition it like so. Shave it back on both sides. Kind of gonna shave this too. There we go. Then, oops. Shave this as well. Do this, do that. Keep clicking the wrong tools. And they're like tools that will, I can always click the back button, but they're tools that will literally ruin everything if I touch the page. So it's always shocking, but luckily, you can just click the back button and it fixes everything you just did, so that part is nice, but it just always makes your heart sink when you witness it. I'm just gonna click save. I sometimes when I'm recording videos, I just explain this in the last one, but it's like, not only do I forget to, drink water or, eat food or something, but it's like I will completely forget to click save. So it's like if the power went out unexpectedly or something happened to my computer or something, it's like everything I was working on is just done. It's just gone. You're like, yeah, it would suck to lose all the recording I did, but it's like, on the bright side, at least I'm not losing half a fan art. It's like, it sucked, but it's not the end of the world. But if you don't save anything and then something goes wrong, it's like, okay, well, now we are in a predicament. And I'm going to save time. Oops. I'm going to save time by doing this. And I'm going to slightly angle this. So with it at a slight angle, the area closest to us here is larger than the area furthest from us here. Perspective. Fun thing. We will do that. Do this. Okay, that one I flew too close to the sun on. So again, we want it to taper away from us, but we don't want it to be shockingly different than the other one. Because it's like, yes, it's facing away from us, but it's not it's not so far away that we have to, get goofy with it, We just want to get a little silly. So that's what we did. So we're going to do that. Then we're going to come down here and click that. Okay, this is a fun shape. Not. Because now we got to figure out the perspective with a V that's angled down. So this is going to be quite fun. Okay. We've got something to work with. We just got to angle this bad boy. A lot. We've got to angle it a lot. But now it's kind of ruining itself. This is annoying. Is that good? You know? What we're gonna do is we're just gonna go with it for right now. We'll leave it in its own, we'll leave it in its own little layer. So if it's horrendous, we can fix it. But we'll just see what these look like completed. Okay, then right here. What? Oh, there we go. I just clicked the wrong one. Again, I was convinced I had clicked the right layer, and then when nothing happened, I was just very confused. Okay, so it's not good. So we're gonna mess with it. You know, the line weight and the shapes here are not bad. It's just I was so concerned about getting the angle right that I forsook the angle of the knee. And now it's giving me issues. Okay. Let's see here. I think I just need to angle this. I think if I add a little angle here, like the tiniest one though, like that's like literally like a little tiny one like that. I feel like if I do that, it should fix it. It did not. Interesting. I guess I could change the shape of it, because I have it kind of positioned like it's aimed straight at us, like with this line. So I could flex it the other way. Which, as soon as I said that and slightly drew it, it immediately clicked as that's what I should have done. So we will do that. So we will do this, get rid of this, like so, and then need to flex this over. There we go. This should fix it. And it'll help us get nice and tight to the other plate on this side. Again, sometimes little things like this don't just occur to you when you're making the line to begin with, because obviously this is what I should have done, but you know, it is what it is. There we go. Okay, I guess I need to angle this, tighten it up. Ignore this little center line we've got. We're gonna fix it, because right now it's just kind of messed up. We'll do that. Then we'll grab this, and then move it as needed. There we go. I'll move it a little back. Because this knee, this plate above it is, well, above it. So it's going to kind of be the tiniest bit off center with it. So we'll do that. And then I think I'm just going to, in the rendering, I'll accentuate this, but I'll just write like this, show that there's like a flat side to it up there. So we'll do that. Now we can hide this with the boot. So we'll do that. Add another layer. Do that. A lot of that's going to get covered with the little details there. So this part doesn't have to be perfect. Do that. Should be good. Kind of tighten these up. Hopefully the next little knee plate doesn't take us, oops, as long as the first one. We were kind of in the weeds for a minute there. Again, sorry if I'm coughing and stuff. I am getting over an illness. Because even though these are in 3 different parts for all of you, I literally just hit stop recording and then start recording immediately after. So I'm just busting this out in one go. It just has to be in multiple parts. There's just no way anybody's gonna watch a 4-hour part of doing line art. If you did, then thank you. But I'm not confident. What am I looking at here? Okay, so we can move on to this. Tighten this up. But yeah, I can also tell I'm gonna have to save some of this for tomorrow. I was hoping to maybe get the base colors done today, but truth be told, I'm getting just a little bit burnt out. So I want to make sure that I do the best job I can on this. So I'm going to save some of it for tomorrow so I can come back at it fresh without just wanting to be done, and should hopefully do a good job. And that is a good tip too if you're new to art, you're just getting into it or whatever. It's okay if your pieces take a long time to get done. It's okay if it takes you a couple of days of working on it. It's like, if you're enjoying it while you're working on it, it's just going to turn out so much better. Because you're going to be willing to look for things to make better on it, you know? It's like if you're doing this as a job or as your career, then yeah, sometimes you just kind of got to simply be like, yeah, I'm tired, but I got to force myself to do the best I can. Otherwise, it's going to get sent back and I'm going to have to redo a bunch of it and it's going to not be fun. But if this is just something you're doing as a hobby or you're just getting into it, it's like take all the time you need so you can come at it fresh. So if you don't do that, you might not really open yourself up to being able to catch, mistakes or things that could be better, or even looking for areas that you could add detail, because you might be getting to the point where it's like, okay, I just want to be done, but I just want to get this done. And if that's your mindset, then you're not really in an advantageous spot to make it better. You're not going to look for little details you could add or anything like that. You're just trying to get done. So, doesn't matter if it takes a couple days to get it all wrapped up. Just take your time on it. Try to have fun with it. And the finished product will be a lot better. Trying to get some line weight here, but my shape and angle is not great. Well, something like that. Okay. Staring at my reference to figure out what this looks like. And I can't really tell. So we are going to wing it yet again. I'm going to add this. I think this is the shape it is implying. And kind of opens up. And then has a connection right here. So we'll just start with this. Okay, I'm gonna merge this, but then make a new line. There we go. Do that. Then add a little spot like this. There we go. Just need to move it though. Again, I love the lasso tool. So nice. That way you don't have to keep redoing stuff, you can just move it. Okay, do that. That's got a little smile looking thing right here. Do this. Gonna finally get rid of these lines that are like in my way and preventing me from seeing what's going on. And then this needs to be twisted like that. There we go. Fill these in like that. There we go. Yeah. Okay, let's see here. Call all that good. Now we just gotta add that to the other side now, which will be a bit easier because it is kind of angled away. So we're just gonna do that. Easy peasy. There we go. Okay, and then just need to add this right there. And then our knee. Okay, so now I just need to make sure my knee shape is angled right. There we go. Then I can erase some of this. There we go. Okay. Guess I need to connect this better. Add a little divot there. Little crease there for the pants. And then we can get in calf, just kind of poking out. Connect this. Yeah, I'll have it just go underneath the thigh. I don't really care. I kind of gave her some thick thighs, so it makes sense. It checks out. So I'm not gonna readjust. I think that's fine. Okay, so now we've got a mess. Belt galore. So trying to keep these mildly even. And especially on areas like this where there's another belt under it, it's not going to really taper off under anything. Whereas this will taper off just a touch because there's soft parts of the thighs to kind of swallow it. So we'll taper them a little bit, but these are still like pretty thick belts, so she'd have to be a whole new breed if they were gonna taper off extremely, you know, which we're not trying to do for this. Do this. There we go. Fill this in. There we go. Okay, so add in these little parts here. Like so. Okay. Fill these in a little bit. I also need to check on my dog at some point. She is not asked to go outside in a hot minute. For all I know, she could just be laying down like a sprinkler out there, just peeing all over the place. Which would not be ideal. Be quite sad, to be honest. Alright, now this, which incorporates a curve and line weight. Okay, well, as soon as I said that, I then just did exactly what I set out to do, so do this. This is a large belt, I guess, so do that. Kind of modify our thing here to make it work, because I like that shape, so I'm going to keep it. Okay, do this. Just lots of little tedious things. I will say, the more detailed a piece is, it looks better when it's done, but there's just so much to keep track of while you're working on it. It can just get pretty monotonous. So I'm definitely ready to just get the line art done. But gotta try to do the best we can on it still. So we definitely want to make sure we're taking the time to do a good job on it here. Which, it helps when I'm like recording it, you know, because then it's like, well, I don't want to make myself look like an idiot in front of anybody who watches this, so I kind of need to stay locked in here and just get this done. But it is coming along, though. Don't have too much left. Okay, so we will do this, like so. Boom. Erase this. On the bright side, though, because this has a lot more parts to it than I was anticipating, I'm gonna get a lot more of a backlog from it. So, truth be told, I was planning on doing a couple more tutorials and stuff, but I think now that I know I'm gonna get a lot more than I bargained for out of this, just because it's taking so long, I think I'll just skip those. Just do them later, you know. Just do them when I need another backlog. Because if you don't know, I'm planning on keeping up with like weekly tutorial videos, you know, whether it's like a walkthrough like this or full on, you know, drawing tutorial, like just walking you through a specific part or piece or clothing or whatever. That's my plan. It should be manageable because when I have time, I just bust out as many as I can. But I think that's something to look forward to. My channel grew the most while I was doing like how to draw anime lady tutorials, so probably end up doing more stuff like that here soon, just to see if I can kind of kickstart a little more growth, a little more consistent growth at least. We'll see. But for now, I just need to get Dehya done. Okay, so kind of follow this up through here into the line, like so. Oh wait, what am I doing? If you remember all the way back in the construction line part, I caught that the belt doesn't actually go past the boots. The boots just over all this. So this instead is like a yellow line. So I totally forgot about that. Thankfully I caught that before I spent too much time on it. That would have been a modern tragedy. Okay, that was crazy what just happened. Got this kind of torn spot here. Do this. There we go. Okay. Here we go. There. Thinking this a little bit. I don't want to make that part too thick though, because I kind of like the line weight there. Kind of breaks it up nicely. So that is fine. Maybe I'll thicken this a little bit. There we go. Okay, what is going on over there? Ah, it's got another tear right here. So we'll just, honestly, I'm just not even gonna draw the other side of it. We'll just have it so our thigh is going into the boot, because why not? So like that. Okay, so now that, I guess now we're ready to do the leg here. So gonna keep this line a little less bubbled up. We still want it to interact with the belts here, but her pants are still containing all of her thigh. So in these little areas, we still want them to interact with the belt. The belt's obviously, you know, tight on her leg, so it's going to cause a little bubble up there, but we're gonna save the real exaggerated bubble for these sections of her pants that her actual thigh is visible in, which I now realize right here, that is her thigh right there, and I treated it as though it was not, so, like her bare thigh, I mean. So we're just gonna do this, like so. There we go, and then I guess this one, I'm gonna do the actual thigh bubble first before I do that part, just because if I don't, I run the risk of just kind of messing up the overall direction of it, because that is the one tricky part. If you're doing a bunch of belts and stuff like this, the one tricky thing that you have to keep in mind while you're working on it is that the thigh, yes, it needs to have, like, you know, these little bubbles in it and stuff, but if the overall direction of it gets messed up, which is very easy to do if you're just focused on the bubbles, it's just gonna look horrible. So I am just going to pop this in like so, and then I just need to make sure the overall direction is good, which it's fine, and then this just does that. I think that's fine. I can always edit it later, but that should be all we need. There we go. Get rid of this. What is this? Oh, it's the leg. There we go. Just had to make sure which side of it I was actually trying to thicken. Do that. Add a bubble here. Which this one we need to really like sink it in towards the knee, because this is about the area of the thigh where it really tapers, so we kind of can't keep it pushing too far forward. It kind of needs to push out and down. We'll do that. Now there's these little rings here, which I'm going to just draw little circles. Okay, it's a little bit blurry right here. Okay. Circles. I'm just going to copy these because why not? Saves time. And then these are not like rings, but they're just little silver bits. So we'll do that. Do that. Okay. One thigh is done. Now we gotta do the other one. Which again, we've got this little pyramid shape here. Flatten that out a bit, like so. Okay. Yeah, at first I was a little bit worried because I was like, well, this little shape here, this little point is gonna get messed up, but I'll just move it up because this is a slightly different angle than the other one. It's not gonna be exactly the same, but still gotta look like it's the same size. So we're kind of messing with the perspective and with the angles of it, but it can't like be just smaller than the other one, you know. It's gotta, it'll visually be a little bit smaller because it's not quite in the same spot, but the piece itself can't be smaller. Okay, of course this is giving me some troubles. There we go. Kind of edit this over here a little bit, like that. Then I can erase right here and here. Then I can merge, do this. What? Oh. I had the lasso tool visible while I had my mouse out. And then as soon as I put my pen up there, it was still set to my eraser, so then it just did nothing. I was genuinely confused. Oh yeah, this is wrapped around that, so we don't actually need to do anything with that. Yay. Okay. Do this. That's horrible. That's somehow worse. That will get it done. There we go. Except it doesn't really match. Okay, what are we missing here? We're missing that, but then it's bigger. So I'm going. Oh, okay. See, I was getting caught in the weeds right there because I was like, oh, that's clearly part of this. No, it's not. That's part of the buckle that I had originally made. So we're gonna ignore everything that just went down. I got tricked. I tricked myself. I'm gonna do this. I'm just gonna fill that in because I can. There we go. Fix this. This is like got kind of goofy looking. Yeah, we're just plugging along here. There's just a lot of little details in the leg here, and it's trying to remember the angles as well as keeping it the same size and trying to make this V. Okay, but then look at this. Look at this right there. See how it's like bent and just horrible looking? It's not helpful. There we go. Okay. Back to this, which we will learn from our mistake and just start with it kind of bent up and in, like so. So I need to make this bigger. There we go. That will meet right there, like that. Luckily, the boot kind of covers up the ends of these. If it didn't, it'd be a lot harder, honestly. Because if it didn't, we would have to basically solve the question of how these things are kind of connected back there and what they're up to. Which, honestly, I'm not really in the mood to solve that problem right now. So, luckily, we will hide it. Like that. Now we can bring this over here, like so. Bring this down. There we go. Then we can erase some of this. And we will taper it. Okay, I did that like perfectly. Although right here, I guarantee my paint bucket's gonna spill through. But it looks nice, so I'll just deal with that when we get there. I like the taper there, so we will leave it. Do this. Get rid of that. I don't think there's anything else. Yes, so now I gotta fix these. There we go. The sun, for the first time in the entirety of today, has just come out. I just noticed that. Although now, I mean, it's probably going to heat my room up. So, even though that would normally be a good thing, today I think it's going to cook me. It's going to be very sad. Alright, there we go. Let's see. I'm noticing a problem, and you might be noticing it too. And that is, look at how large this is in comparison to this. Luckily, it's an easy fix, but I'm still sad about it. Can he do it? No. Yes. There we go. We did it. Okay. Line art. Get rid of this. Just get rid of that and redo it. Come through here. Get rid of that. Get rid of this guy. Then thicken this. Okay, thank you. There we go. Now I can thicken these. And add this. There we go. So it's not perfect, but it's at least far better than what it was. So Now, we will just copy that little shape we did. So that, followed by that. Erase this. Fill that in, because I don't feel like going in there with a tiny eraser. Then we gotta fill this in here. And then, I think we'll draw this little knee here. Just like so. Probably need to angle it a little bit though, it's kinda aimed in a weird direction. So we'll do this. Almost done. 35 minutes, we're almost done. What am I doing? Okay, I'm saying I'm almost done and then I'm waffling so bad that we're gonna be here for another 10 minutes. There we go. Okay, okay, that's what's wrong. I was wondering, I was like, what is this line up to? Just didn't fill it out better. Okay. Now we gotta do these belts. Okay. So, belt there. Okay, I'm gonna change the angle a little bit. It's kind of merging with our chest line, which we don't want. Do this. What is this? What is that? Is that a phantom line or a belt? So both are valid questions. I'm just trying to figure out exactly what that part there is. I think it's supposed to be another belt, but I also think it's just wrong. So I think we're just going to ignore it and do this instead. We will ignore the construction lines for a second here, because we can get our belts done. I was complaining about in the construction lines. I'm like, oh, these are just like bare belts. We're gonna have to detail these more in the rendering to make sure they don't look boring. Right now, I'm kind of happy these are just plain belts because I don't feel like making crazy details right now. There we go. So I already know it's all we've got left after this leg is the eyes. I like always save the eyes for last because they it's usually where the most can go wrong, truth be told. It takes the longest to like get them to look nice, at least for me. So saving that for last. Okay, yes, because this is the pants. This is bare thigh, and then should be okay. I mean, I feel like the angle's a little bit off, but it's mostly because this is a little bit off. So I think if I do this, I should fix all of my problems. Yeah, definitely need to round this up too, because I'm just starting to cough a bit more. I think because I've been coughing so much, I haven't been like going out of my way to talk or anything. So now that I'm talking a bunch today, I'm realizing my lungs are getting worked up. Just frustrating, but it is what it is. So we're just gonna chug along. And yeah, and again, make sure that like you're zooming out and checking the balance of everything every now and then. I like zooming way in to like do little detail works, just to make sure it's, you know, exactly what I want. But you need to definitely make sure that you're taking the time to zoom out and make sure you've got what you need, and you're not so zoomed in that you lose sight of the picture as a whole and get your balance way off and stuff like that. So make sure you take some time to zoom in and out. But or like I explained earlier, you can just open a new canvas window and it'll just mimic your window, but it'll be zoomed out, so you can just put it on a different screen. So then you always have just like a full look at the portrait. and that can be quite helpful. There we go. Okay, so is there any little details that I am missing? Man, sorry. Trying to catch this mic before I start hacking, and it's just not working. Okay, I think we are finally onto the eyes. So I do leave the eyes in their own little layer, and she's got very thick eyelashes, so we will start here. Something like that, although I will shape this a little bit better. And all that. She's got like the tiniest of smiles. Do that. Something like that. Put this in, add a little eyelash there. Add a little eyelid fold right there. Then we'll do the other eye. So, then I guess do some little tiny adjustments here. Like so. And like I said, this part's usually the trickiest because we look at people in the eyes so much, like when we're talking to them or whatever. So it's like it's really like if you thought anatomy is noticeable for people to be like, oh, that's off. The eyes definitely are. So they are definitely one of the harder parts to get right, because even a untrained artist, or even an untrained artist would be able to look and be like, yeah, something's off in the face. They might not be able to tell you what it is, but it will be jarring. So we'll give her happy eyebrows. A lot of her photos, she's a little bit more serious, but I want Dehya to be happy in this picture, because why not? We'll do this. I think I'm just gonna, I need to fix that line, but it's too close to my eyelashes, so I'm just gonna move it real quick so I can fix it. Because yeah, I keep the eyebrows and the eyes themselves on the same layer, so that way I can at any point easily adjust them, because again, they are usually what gives you the most issues. So keeping them on their own layer so they can very easily be fixed and changed and stuff is really helpful. It saves you a lot of heartache. So that's what I do. So we've got that. We can shave this away like so. Take a look. I'm gonna thin that just a little bit, open it up a little. We can get rid of this like so. And then yeah, so now we'll do this. So there we go. gonna have to readjust this a little bit, but like I said, the eyes, I definitely, obviously do the best you can through every step, so I do the best I can on the eyes, but I kind of always expect I'm gonna come back the next day, and the first thing that I'm gonna readjust is probably the eyes. So we're trying to make them look as good as we can right now, but honestly, coming back with a fresh perspective tomorrow will show me absolutely everything I did wrong today, and then we'll fix it. So with that, I think our line art is about as good as I'm going to make it right now. So like I said, I will, tomorrow when I come back with a fresh perspective, I'll go through, make any adjustments to the body, any adjustments to the eyes that are necessary. I'm not going to show that process because it's boring, quite frankly, and I want to be more focused on finding things to solve rather than talking. So I will do that tomorrow. And then in the next part, we're going to do the base colors. Should be no reason to need to break that one up into multiple parts. Should be able to just get it done in one go. But either way, if you've managed to watch this long, thank you. It helps a lot. And yeah, hopefully you found it helpful. I was a little more quiet this time, truth be told. I'm just getting tired, so I need to just call it a day. So I should be more talkative in the next one, maybe a bit more interesting, but for right now, thank you for tagging along, thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.